I've tried most of these business models. I've made good money with some, and I've lost money with others. Here is the brutal truth about what works going into 2025. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name's Zarak. I run a few businesses online and I've become decently successful as a result. I mean, I went from a pretty broke, average kid to a millionaire by the age of 22. And the reason I'm even telling you this is because I want you to understand that I'm not some random guru teaching you things that I've never done. I'm teaching you what actually works based on years of experience running my businesses. And I would know what works because as you watch this video, there are 20 people working for me exclusively full-time. And I have a newsletter with over 12,000 people on it where I send a daily email talking about online business, direct response marketing, how to sell stuff on the internet, and how to get started. And I've had that for nearly 2 years now, and I've sent an email to that list every single day for the last 700 plus days. As a result of this, I have a pretty good pulse on the market in terms of what clients want, what the best business models are, what the biggest trends are, and who's making the most money at any given moment. And most of the people who you watch on YouTube who talk about this or try and rate business models, they haven't even tried half the business models they're talking about. I genuinely have. So make sure you stay tuned and watch this whole video because I'm going to tell you objectively what the best business model is for you to start as a total beginner going into 2025. And that's based on everything I know about the market currently, what I'm seeing from people on my newsletter, what I'm seeing from my friends and my network, and what I'm seeing from my clients and my customers. Or don't pay attention. You can go back to doom scrolling Instagram and, procrastinating and make zero progress in your life if that's what you want to do. But if you want to learn what the best opportunity is for you in 2025 and what I would personally do if I had to start from scratch today, then make sure you watch this entire video and pay attention. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. I'm going to go through 5 of the most popular business models and I'm going to rank them from worst to best and explain why for each one. So let's start with what is, in my opinion, the worst business model for a beginner. Crypto trading is one of the worst business models you could ever start as a total beginner. And don't get me wrong, I've got a decent amount of crypto. I've made profit from crypto, quite a lot of profit. And I have quite a few friends who have a huge amount of money in crypto. I'm talking about, 22, 23, 24-year-olds with over $10 million in liquid crypto. But the reason I was successful with crypto in the first place is because I actually have money to invest in crypto. And I have a decent network of people who are much smarter than me who tell me what to buy and what to hold and, when they're selling. And if you pair that with the fact that I can afford to put, for example, $100,000 into crypto today, into some random project if I had enough conviction, that's why crypto makes sense for me. But for you, as a total beginner, it's not a good way to start. You might only have a few hundred or a few $1,000s in savings. And even if you put that money into crypto and you double it or triple it, you don't have much money. You're still broke. Let's say you have like $3,000 to your name. If you put that in the crypto market and you double it, congrats. Now you have $6,000, but that's not going to change your life. It's not going to change the situation you're in. And it's not going to teach you a skill that can pay you for the rest of your life. For the most part, you're just gambling and making educated guesses. And when you don't have much money to play with, or you don't have cash flow or deep pockets to keep taking shots at the market, there's a very high chance that you're going to lose that money. And even if you do make money, the return isn't going to be that big unless you 100x or 1,000x the money. And the chances of doing that are so slim. 99% of people lose money in the market. So even if you profit $1, you're still in the top 1% of the market. Simply making a profit is a big deal in crypto. And I'm sure you might go on Twitter or on TikTok and you'll see these videos and screenshots of people turning $1,000 into $1 million.
I just basically mortgaged my house so I could put all of the equity from the house into XRP.
But that's the internet. It's not real life. And the percentage of people who actually do that is so slim. So you definitely shouldn't bank on crypto being the thing that's going to change your life, because there's a very, 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 very slim chance that it actually will do that. And that chance is even lower if you don't have a lot of money to play with and you're not that well educated on the market. You're pretty much just gambling your money. So if I was to start from scratch today, I would avoid crypto. It's only really worth it if you have a lot of liquid cash to play with. And remember, we're going from worst to best. So I would put crypto at the bottom as the worst. Next business model is going to be drop shipping. Okay, let's talk about drop shipping. So drop shipping is a super popular business model amongst all the fake gurus. And I mean, it's been that way for years. Like literally when I was 15, people were selling courses and blowing up on YouTube, teaching you how to do drop shipping. Like it's never changed, you know? Every year a new guru pops up, gets famous, blows up on TikTok, selling you the same course, telling you that drop shipping is the best thing ever and it changed their life and blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to give you a real objective breakdown of drop shipping and explain why it may not be the best business model for a total beginner. Reason number one, the margins are too slim. If you have a 30% profit margin with your dropshipping store, that's considered good. And that's because there's a lot of costs that go into making a dropshipping operation work. First of all, you have to pay for ads. Then you have to pay for software costs. Then you have to pay for the actual product or cost of goods. Then you have to pay for payment processing fees and then any team expenses that come on top of that. Only after all of those expenses do you actually have some profit left over. And in order to scale further, to grow your dropshipping business, then you won't even be able to take that profit because you have to reinvest that profit into your ads in order to spend more on ads and acquire more customers and grow your revenue. You could literally be doing like $50K a month with your dropshipping store, but at 30% margin, you're only profiting $15,000 a month. And then if you want to spend more on ads, you have to put that 15K back into the business in order to scale further and get to 100K a month, for example. And you know, there is ways around it. You can get credit lines, credit cards. You can negotiate terms with your suppliers and get net 30 or net 60. And what that means is basically the supplier will front the cost of the goods, or your shipping partner will front the cost of shipping the products and you pay them 30 days later. You can get into games like that, and that does make it a more viable business model, but then it becomes more complex and it's no longer a beginner's business. Reason number two why I don't like dropshipping for beginners is because you will very likely lose money before you make money. In order for dropshipping to work, and I'm going to give you a very simple breakdown, but you find a product, you start running ads to that product on like your e-com store, and then your ads ideally are profitable and then you make money. But the chances of your ads and your funnel essentially being profitable on the first day are very slim. It's going to take a lot of testing and trial and error. You're going to have to experiment with different products, different price points, different offers, different copy on your landing pages, different ads. And by the time you've done all that testing to find your actual winning variation, which is profitable, you've already lost money or you've already invested a lot of money. Also, dropshipping isn't even a business model. It's just a mode of fulfillment where you don't hold any inventory. So when someone places an order, like let's say you order something from me, I just go to this guy and I tell him, hey, send this product to them. And then I basically middleman that transaction and make a profit on it. The actual business you're doing is called e-commerce. And e-commerce is not easy at all. It's a legitimate business that takes a lot of skill and money to work. I would know this because I started my own e-commerce brand in March of this year. And even though we've done, close to $3 million in sales this year, I haven't paid myself a single penny from that company. Every single dollar of profit that I have made from my e-com business has been reinvested straight into the business because we're not dropshipping. First of all, we actually produce the product ourselves and make it in-house, and that costs a lot of money. And second of all, I'm in a position where I can afford to not pay myself. I can afford to run this business for 2 years without taking a single dollar. And that's because I have other businesses that pay for my lifestyle. E-com is not easy at all. And you're competing with people like me who can afford to not pay themselves anything for 2 years while we scale this business. And the third reason I don't like dropshipping is because it's too competitive. You're not competing with 20-year-olds. You're competing with every single business who runs ads on Facebook. And, we're talking about expert marketers and copywriters who have been doing this for decades and have sold billions of dollars of stuff on the internet. That is who you're competing with when you're dropshipping. And another thing with dropshipping is that there's so many moving parts in the business. You have to monitor your logistics. You have to make sure the customers are happy. You have to make sure the product quality is good. You have to make sure customers are actually coming back and buying more of the product. You have to make sure your front-end ads are profitable. And then eventually, as you scale, you're going to have to hire team members, and you're going to have to learn about culture, delegation, processes, systems. You're going to have to build out a customer support SOPs because you can't just ignore the customers when they email you asking where the product is. You're going to have to learn to negotiate with your manufacturers to get lower costs and negotiate with your fulfillment partner to get lower shipping and faster shipping. I mean, there are so many moving parts that go into running a successful dropship operation, and it takes years to learn those skills and actually be good at them. So that's why I say it's not a good business model for beginners, especially if you want to do it properly and make real money. And again, I'm saying this as someone who literally runs a successful e-com brand. It's not for beginners. And if I had to start from scratch today, I definitely wouldn't do dropshipping or e-com. The third business model we're going to discuss is SMMA, or a social media marketing agency. Look, I know exactly what it takes to run a successful agency because I literally make millions of dollars every single year from my agency. And if you don't believe me, spend 5 minutes and you'll find my agency and you'll see the clients we work with and you'll see that we've been doing this for years. I didn't start my agency yesterday. I didn't start it last year. I started this 4 or 5 years ago. In fact, I started off as a freelancer, and over years and years of work, I started to hire people and create processes, and only then did we become a real agency. It's actually a great business model. The profit margins are great. My team is amazing. The clients are cool. Our processes are dialed in, and really, I work like 30 to 40 minutes a day on that business, usually just handling high-level stuff like disputes or managing some of the team members or reviewing some copy from my copywriters. But, and this is important to note, I didn't just start an agency. Here's the reality no guru tells you when it comes to starting an agency. First, you have to learn a skill, whether that's Facebook ads or email design or copywriting or whatever. You have to learn a skill. And you can't just read a book about the skill. You have to study that skill. You have to get good at that skill. Good enough to the point where you can compete in the market and actually deliver for clients. So that's the first step. You, the person watching this video, would have to go and spend 1 to 3 months learning a skill. Then you have to start selling that skill as a freelancer. Because at that stage in your career, you can't afford to hire people to do the skill for you and deliver the actual skill for you. And also, you shouldn't hire someone to deliver it for you because you don't even know how to do it yourself. And in my experience, in the early stages of your business or your career, it's very hard to successfully hire someone for a role that you don't know how to fulfill. That's why my agency is so successful today, because I did everything myself in the beginning. For years, I would take client requests, client calls, I would deliver the service, I would close deals, I would raise prices, I would do my bookkeeping, I would do everything from scratch. And that's the only reason why I've been able to hire such a big team successfully, because I understand from the ground up how this business works, and I know if someone's doing a good job in each part of the business. If I didn't know how to write copy, I wouldn't be able to hire good copywriters because I wouldn't even know what good copy looks like. Anyway, first you learn a skill, then you start selling that skill as a freelancer. So then you start reaching out to potential clients, you start cold calling, cold emailing, you build a personal brand on Twitter or LinkedIn to try and get clients. You get told no for 1 to 3 months, which is completely normal. I was getting paid $500 a month to write some really shitty dropshipping pages on Upwork. And at the same time, I was cold calling clients every single day to try and close a bigger deal for myself so I could actually change my life because, $500 is not a lot of money. Another thing to note is that you're probably going to have to work for free in the beginning just to get some case studies. And that's not a bad thing. In the beginning, when I first started, I worked for free. I would literally go to people and I'd say, hey, I don't have, any testimonials or case studies to show you, but I'll do this for free in exchange for a testimonial and a case study. Because then I could take that testimonial, bring it to the next client and say, hey, I made this guy $100,000, so you pay me $5,000 and I'll do the same for you. But without that social proof or that testimonial, no one's really going to want to pay you anything. That's why you should be prepared to work for free. If things go as planned, you'll get your first few wins for your clients. You'll start making a little bit of money, signing your first retainers, getting your first 2 or 3 clients. And now your life is actually kind of good. You'd probably by this point be making $5,000 or $10,000 a month. You're a one-man team. You have no one working for you. 100% profit margins. Your lifestyle is a bit better. It's a good stage to be in, but you're still not an agency. You're just a freelancer selling your service to other business owners. That's all you are. In order to get to the next level from that stage, you need to invest in your skill set. So then you take the money you're earning, you start paying for coaching, you pay for consulting, courses, copy reviews, whatever it is. You improve your skill set so you get bigger wins for your clients. Then over time, give it another 2 or 3 months of dialing in your service delivery and actually getting wins for your clients. You start to create processes, systems, and SOPs. And that's when you can look into hiring your first employee. Because by this point, let's say you have 4 or 5 clients and you're a one-man team, you're running out of time. And in order to make more money, you have to bring on more clients, which means more hours of work. So the amount of money you're making is still directly tied to your time. That's when you start delegating and hiring your first employees. And before you can even make your first hire, you have to create a system and a process and an SOP, because without that, you won't be able to set your first employee up for success. You can't just hire someone, throw them into a role and expect them to succeed. It's very rare that that happens. But if you have step-by-step SOPs, processes, and systems, and you hire someone with a relevant skill set and place them into that system, there's a very high chance they'll succeed in that role and make your life a lot easier. So you make your first hire, and now you have more time. So you bring on a few more clients. But then you face the same problem again. You don't have bandwidth to make more money because you need to hire more people to save your time. So you delegate those first tasks to your first hire. Then you build up more clients, and the same thing happens. You run out of time. And in order to make more money, you need to take on more clients. But you can't take on more clients because you don't physically have the time to. So at that stage, you got to do it again. Create some systems, create some processes, hire a few employees. Now your time is free again because you delegated more tasks to your employees and you can take on more clients. And by this point, you'll be learning to manage your client relationships, raise your prices, say no to bad clients, qualify your clients better. You're probably building out a better sales process. And only at this point can you really call yourself an agency. Before you reach this point, you're really just a glorified freelancer with 1 or 2 employees under you. That's all you are. In my case, it took me years to get my agency to the point where it is now. The reason I'm telling you this is because I want you to understand that starting an SMMA business is not as easy as it seems, especially if you want to do it properly. The gurus who are selling you on like to start your SMMA and make 10K a month, that whole marketing angle, they're kind of selling you a fantasy because it's not easy. And in almost every single case, those gurus have never scaled an agency to the level that I have with mine. So I can really tell you from experience that it's not a joke and it's not just some side hustle that you can start on the side and, make a bit of money. No, it's a real legitimate business where clients are paying you for a service and they expect you to deliver on that service. And if you don't deliver on that service, you will not succeed because your reputation is going to get ruined, and reputation over time is very important with an agency. And I'm not trying to discourage you from starting an agency or any of these businesses, by the way. I'm just trying to let you know that if you don't have systems, a track record, and a high-level skill, it's going to be very, very hard to start an agency or an SMMA and compete in today's landscape because there are so many. It's more competitive than ever, and even I noticed that at the level we're at. 99% of the deals we close come through referrals. But even then, I'm seeing how competitive it is to try and get your first client. Even with the case studies we have, the track record we have, the clients we have, the name I have in the space, it's still not easy for me to close clients. It's still not like I can just DM anyone and close a deal like that. It doesn't work like that. Now, imagine how much harder it would be if you don't have all the case studies and track record that I have. It would be even worse. So to come to a conclusion on, SMMA as a business model, don't think about it as starting an agency. I would just start learning a skill and dedicate all your free time, all your energy into becoming extremely good at that skill. And then off the back of that, start learning how to sell that skill and getting your first few clients. That's all you should focus on. Don't even think about, I want to start an agency, I want to hire employees, because you can't do that in the beginning. So overall, if you want to start an agency, start a freelance career first, master your skill, become really good at your skill, build a reputation, scale up, take on more clients, create processes, delegate tasks and delegate those processes, free your time, take on more clients, and rinse and repeat until you have a fully functioning agency that runs itself without you. The fourth business model I want to discuss is email copywriting. To be fully transparent, my agency, which I mentioned previously, nets millions of dollars a year, we offer email copywriting as our primary service. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that email copywriting doesn't work or that it's a dead service and that you should try something else, because I'd be lying to you. I make a lot of money from it and it still works incredibly well. Email copywriting or email marketing is a great way to make money for beginners because there's a low barrier to entry. There's hundreds of thousands of free resources on email copywriting all over the internet. And if you want to invest a bit, there's a lot of paid resources too. But that leads me to my second point. You can start email copywriting with pretty much zero capital. It's not like dropshipping where you need to spend money on ads or you need to pay for softwares. No, you can genuinely start with no money. I mean, that's how I started. The way I learned copywriting was by reading a few old school copywriting books from some of the greatest direct response marketers of all time. And then I had like probably a couple $100 in savings. I spent that on a course that I found on the internet that taught you how to write emails and get clients. And I just implemented that for like 6 months straight. And I started making money as a result of that. Another reason email copywriting is great for beginners is that there's solid income potential. If I told you that you could make 5 to 20K a month writing emails from the comfort of your laptop, it sounds like a marketing angle and it sounds like some bullshit, but it's really not. It's true. I know a lot of people who make that kind of money writing emails, and I would know them because they're on my newsletter replying to my emails every single day. If you sign up to my email newsletter, you can email me and reply to my emails with questions. And if it's a good question, I will reply to you and give you my honest advice. And that's completely free. Only if it's a good question though. Now, email's great, but here's what they don't tell you about email copywriting. So first of all, as an actual skill, email copywriting is not real copywriting. You have to understand the difference between a cold audience and a warm audience. In any business, a cold audience is a group of people who don't know you, they don't know who you are, and they've never heard of you. A warm audience is a group of people that know you, they like you, and they want to buy something from you. If you sign up to my newsletter, you are a warm audience because you clicked the link in the description of this video, signed up, gave me your email, and opted in to receive marketing promotions from me. You are a warm audience. And obviously, in my case, I write the emails to my list personally myself. But if I was someone else, or I didn't know how to write emails, or I wasn't a good copywriter, I would then go and hire an email copywriter to email my list every single day, selling my programs and my offers. But here's the thing. It's not that hard to turn a warm audience into paying customers. It's really not hard because, like I said, they're warm. They already know who I am. They already know what I have to offer, and they already know that I know what I'm talking about and that my products are valuable. As a result, if I give them a good offer, a no-brainer, they're going to buy it. It's not that hard, really. However, on cold traffic, to go up to a random stranger and sell them my product, that's not easy. And that's what real copywriting is. Real copywriting is the ability to turn cold strangers into paying customers at scale on the internet. And as an email copywriter, you're only learning how to sell to warm audiences. There's a lower skill ceiling and therefore a lower perceived value to clients. And that isn't the only bad thing about email as a service. In the last 2 years, the market has changed a lot. 2 years ago, you could send 100 cold emails a day, have a basic landing page with one case study on it, and you would probably close a $2,000 a month deal by the end of the week. But in today's market, that does not work. And the reason is very simple. There's too much competition. There are so many gurus on TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Twitter. It's crazy the amount of email gurus that are teaching people how to make money writing emails. Like, it's never been as popular as it is today. And all of these gurus are flooding the market with more beginners who are trying to sell to the same people as you. As a result, there's so much competition. And I'm not just saying that. I've seen my clients' inboxes. They literally get, in some cases, and I promise you I'm not making this up, 50 plus cold emails a day. How are you supposed to compete? Just based on numbers alone, the chances of them even opening your email are so slim. So how are you supposed to get your first clients as an email copywriter? It's not easy. I'm not saying it can't be done or that you shouldn't try. I still think it's a great business model for beginners. That's why it's so popular, because when a business model is popular, it's because it works. But it's just very, very competitive. And as a result of the amount of beginners being flooded into the industry, there's more competition for entry-level roles. Prices are at an all-time low, so you can't charge the same prices that you could have charged, 2-3 years ago. It's harder to stand out, and your potential customers have so many more options. You are so replaceable. So here's what I tell people about email now, because a lot of people ask me, should I start email copywriting today? And here's what I say. First of all, it's still a solid skill to learn, but make sure you learn how to write real long-form copy, not just, emails that you learned from some random guru course on the internet. Third of all, you can absolutely still make money from it, but you have to be better than the average person, which takes a bit of work, and you have to actually study the craft. You can't just go through a quick course that costs you $30 off of TikTok and then start selling the service and expect that anyone's going to, want to work with you. There's people that, spent 30 years of their life writing copy every single day, and they would smoke you. They will take your clients, they'll charge triple the rate or even 10 times what you're charging, and you're nowhere near as good as them because the skill ceiling in copywriting is so high. I've been writing copy for years. It's what I started with. And I didn't start with emails. I started with long form cold traffic copy. And that gives me an edge over my competition because I can write copy that converts on cold traffic. I did it for my own brand this year and we made close to $3 million already on cold traffic. As a result of that, writing emails is super easy for me. In conclusion, email copywriting is still a great opportunity and there's still money in it. And I don't think that you should stop doing it if you're trying to get started. I definitely don't think you should stop. But right now, it's so competitive that even I'm starting to feel the effects of all the beginners flooding the industry. And this brings me to the next and final business model for this video. I think this is the best opportunity for anyone who wants to start making money online going into 2025. And I'm objectively saying that. The final business model is cold traffic copywriting as a service. Now, this is what I'm most excited about heading into 2025. Look, I just closed a deal for $20,000 a couple of weeks ago for a cold traffic copywriting project. And just this week, I closed another deal for $30,000 with an existing client for another cold traffic copywriting project. Cold traffic copywriting, as I explained earlier, is a much more valuable and rare skill than email copywriting. And funny enough, there's no competition in cold traffic copywriting because nobody knows how to do it. There's very few copywriters in the world who actually know how to convert on cold traffic and actually know how to write longer form copy. It's not an easy skill to master, and you need really good processes and systems in order to do it again and again and again. That's the core difference between cold traffic copy and email copy. With cold traffic copy, you're writing longer form copy, you're selling to a cold audience, and you're literally acquiring customers. Whereas with email copy, you're selling to existing customers who may or may not have already bought your product or bought into the idea of buying your product. That's why I'm able to charge 5 figures for a cold traffic project and, $5,000 a month for email marketing. That's a big difference. Let me explain to you why cold traffic copywriting is such a golden opportunity in 2024 and beyond. First of all, you're writing to cold traffic. So if you run your own business, you're literally writing copy that attracts new customers, and the best way to make more money is by acquiring new customers. Second of all, if you're writing for clients, you're literally helping your clients acquire new customers and grow their business, which is infinitely more valuable than helping your clients make money on existing email subscribers or customers. Just think about it. Every single online business needs new customers to survive. And even with email marketing, without new customers or new subscribers or new cold traffic, you will never grow your email list and be able to make more money from email. Email marketing does not exist without cold traffic copy because the cold traffic copy is what keeps the fresh blood coming in to the email list. If you're trying to sell email as a service, all you're doing is writing to existing customers that the clients already had. You didn't help the client get those customers. And that's why clients pay so much more if you help them acquire new customers than if you just help them, market to existing customers. And again, with cold traffic copywriting, you don't have to learn how to run Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever. You just have to learn the skill of writing cold traffic copy because there are such few capable cold traffic copywriters in this industry. In fact, this is probably the first time you've ever seen someone push this as a potential opportunity for you to make money in today's day and age. In fact, this might even be the first time someone said this on YouTube. I don't know. But one thing I know for certain is that cold traffic copywriting is a blue ocean. There is no competition. If you can get a proposal in front of the right client at the right time, they will pay you to write a cold traffic funnel for them because you're literally promising them to acquire new customers profitably and grow their business. You cannot grow a business with email marketing. You can add extra revenue, but you can't grow the business. With cold traffic copy, though, you are literally selling growth, which is the most important thing to any business. And from the perspective of making money as a beginner, the market is way less saturated. It's way easier to get clients to pay you to write cold traffic copy and pay you more than it is to make clients pay you for email, because they already work with an email agency or they already have a copywriter working for them. The competition's way higher. But if you go to that same client and say, hey, I saw your ads, I saw your Facebook ads, I saw your landing page, I wrote you a better one, here, test it for free. If that client tests it and you give them a winner, they will be happy to pay you because you solved such a big problem for them in their business. You made them more profitable and you helped them grow. But here's the thing with cold traffic copy. It's a little bit more difficult to master than email copy, because for cold traffic copy, you're not just writing, 100-word emails to a warm audience. You're writing to people who have never heard of you before. You need to understand ads on the front end, advertorials, pre-sale pages, VSLs, sales letters, and finally upsells. Essentially, you have to know how to write the entire funnel from top to bottom in order to sell this service successfully. And I use this skill in my own business. I mean, I scaled my ecom brand to multiple 6 figures a month this year on cold traffic. I scaled my agency to multiple 7 figures a year by offering cold traffic and email. And I consistently land 5-figure projects for my agency on cold traffic copy. And the best part is that while everyone's fighting over 2 or 3K a month email retainers, I'm closing those same clients on higher ticket cold traffic deals and then upselling them onto a monthly email retainer. As a total beginner, you can charge a few $1,000s for a cold traffic funnel because that's what it's worth to a client. And the cool thing about it is that it's a one-time project. So the client pays you once, you deliver it, and it's done. At that point, if you do a good job, you can easily tell the client, hey, I crushed it for you with this cold traffic copy. Why don't you consider working with me on your email? So now, not only have you closed them for $3,000 on a cold traffic funnel, but you also gained a monthly retainer client. Another thing to keep in mind is that with cold traffic copy, you don't necessarily have to learn how to design the pages. You don't have to build it for the client either. You can just tell them, hey, I'm only going to write the copy. You have to handle the rest. And usually, if they're a client who's big enough and has enough money, which is the type of clients you want to be working with, they already have the infrastructure and the employees in-house to actually build those pages and test your funnels. One good cold traffic funnel could literally be worth millions and millions and millions of dollars to any online business. And that's why it's the number one skill that you should be learning going into 2025, because the opportunity is massive, the earning potential is huge, and the market is so uneducated and unsaturated and green right now. That's why I genuinely think that learning how to write cold traffic copy is the number one thing you could do if you want to make money in 2025 and change your life. And if you want to learn how, here's what I would suggest. So first of all, I would go and order the Boron Letters and Scientific Advertising and a bunch of other old school direct response books and just read them. Read each book like 2 or 3 times from start to finish, because those books will teach you cold traffic copywriting principles that still work to this very day. And most of the influencers today are just selling watered down versions of those books. So go buy the books, learn from the source. Second thing, if you want to learn cold traffic copywriting, is sign up to my newsletter below, because I'm releasing a brand new program called the Cold Traffic Copywriter that's going to teach you how to write cold traffic copywriter as a total beginner in 2025 from scratch, even if you've never wrote a word of copy before. I'm also going to include a free bonus program that will show you how to get your first clients, how much you should charge, and how to close a deal. That bonus program is going to show you how to send cold emails, all the softwares you're going to need, different scripts you can use. And on top of that, the entire program is going to teach you how to use artificial intelligence to write copy for you so that you can deliver the service faster for more clients. In my upcoming program, the Cold Traffic Copywriter, you will learn how to find these high-ticket opportunities, the exact proposal structure that I've used to close multi-5-figure deals literally this week, how to close clients, the follow-up system that never fails, and most importantly, how to write A+ cold traffic copy as a total beginner from the ad all the way to the upsell. This program is literally going to be 40 hours of video content and transcripts. I'm also going to include hundreds of samples of cold traffic copy that I've wrote for myself and my own clients, and you'll be able to study that stuff forever. Now, if you want access to this program, it's not going to be available to the public. I'm not posting it on YouTube. You're not going to find it on my Twitter. There's no link in the description or a book a call link where you get closed by some aggressive salesman. No, you just have to do one thing. Sign up to my newsletter. The link is in the description for my free newsletter. And when you sign up, you will be placed on a wait list for my latest program, which is probably going to be released in the next 2 or 3 weeks from the moment that this video goes live. So make sure that you get on the wait list. The first 100 people to join the program are going to get it at the cheapest price ever. That's pretty much it. Sign up to my newsletter. And I think I'm going to conclude this video here. And I hope you found it valuable.